Hey you guys, welcome to the bag. If you're new, like, sub, turn the notifications on so you're notified immediately when my videos like this drop. And if you're returning, guys, of course, as always, welcome back. With that being said, guys, the website I was on yesterday, they didn't have any spreads up at all, so I just came over here to Odd Shark, I believe it is, and so this is a little bit better. You can see the money line, you can see the over under, as well as the current spread. So before we get into that real quick, guys, I just want to give you a recap on all the news I gathered because I did quite a bit of homework as well as the look back. Now, I stopped updating the cheat sheet on the final take yesterday because I didn't see it didn't look like anybody was coming back checking. So if you did, I apologize that you got left hanging. So a lot of on the board would have changed had I updated it, but since I left it the way I did, we're just gonna go down the list with the hit and misses out of what was up on the board, what was in the final take vid, the whole shebang on that with the news. So we'll quickly just go through this. Personally, I wasn't on Martin as much. Once I knew Love was getting in there, especially with him being on back to back. So if you faded Martin and took Kevin Love's over 7.5 rebound prop, that was a good move. But anyhow, we're gonna go down the list real quick, guys. So I had Caleb Martin up there for over 6.5 rebounds. He missed by one with a 6. PJ Washington over 5 rebounds. I think he got injured like 1 or 2 minutes into the game, so they basically just gave him a DMP, which basically was like a push or less than a push. You just basically reverted your flexes down to smaller prop lines. Um, I had Laurie Markkinen up there for over 6. I think it was 6. It was either 6 or 6.5. I believe it was 6.5. But anyways, Laurie Markkinen got there. He checked. He hit 8 rebounds. Gordon Hayward over 25.5 PRA. He killed it and got there. Terry Rozier over 30.5 points and assists. He got there. Victor Wembanyama over 12 rebounds. He got there. I wasn't high on Melton later in the day because, like I said, there were so many better props that went up. But anyway, we had him over 15.5 points and assists. He missed by one. Herb Jones. Like I said, I was looking more for like Trey Murphy's prop in that when it came out. But if you were considering the Herb Jones, he was up there for over 5 rebounds. Now I do know with him in this case, he got into foul trouble very very early, and then just kind of pretty much stayed in foul trouble. So just kept him from being aggressive, like for going after the rebounds, because that very well could have been what led him into foul trouble in the first place. So he missed. I'm not sure what happened with Brandon Ingram, but he was up on the board for over 6 rebounds. He only got 2, so he missed. Devin Booker over seven assists. He killed it. He passed. And then we had. I wasn't as high on him once we got the news that he was going to be on similar like minutes. I was actually expecting to increase by about 6 to 8 minutes, so I wasn't on him when that news came in personally. But he missed by 2 points. And then we had Kevin Durant over 26.5 points. He made it. Sengun, we had over 10 rebounds. He pushed. And then Cam Johnson was up there for over 5 rebounds. He pushed. So, as far as the news we got right now, guys, Lonnie Walker is out. Jordan Clarkson is out. Gary Payton, of course, is out. Um, I'm sorry if I'm saying his name wrong. Keontae George from Utah, he's out. We know Zach LaVine's out. Laurie Markkinen not expected to play. Anthony Edwards is questionable, but he did attend practice yesterday. So personally, especially given the spread on this game, I'm expecting him to go. Malcolm Brogdon is questionable. Lou Dort's not on the injury report. DeAndre Ayton is questionable. Jaylen Brown is questionable. Jeremiah Grant is out. Evan Mobley is out. Paul George is questionable. Alex Caruso is questionable. Eric Gordon is not on the injury report as of right now, or I think he's questionable, but I think they might have ruled him out for the back to backs, so he's rested. So if is a go today, definitely look for his prop when it drops. Derek Jones Jr. is questionable. Um, Contavious Caldwell Pope is out. Trey Lyles is questionable. Jamal Murray is probable. I'm far as I know, he's a green light to go. That's why I like his over points prop because he's up on there. And as we do know, Brooklyn is just one of the worst defensive teams, especially when it comes to wings getting up shots, especially on the 3-point perimeter. And Seth Curry, the backup guard for Golden State, is questionable. So you just don't get it confused with Steph. It's the backup guard. Seth Curry is questionable. Uh, Jaden McDaniels is questionable. Tim Hardaway Jr. is probable. And Tyler Hero is doubtful. These two teams are on their first leg of a back to back today: Boston, Minnesota, Dallas. And these teams are on their second leg of a back to back today: Miami, Brooklyn, Utah, and Phoenix. What was that? I know he's probable. Oh, as far as I know, Kyrie Irving is still listed as out, but I will see what more news I could get on that. But as far as I know, I think Kyrie Irving has been ruled out, but I can't be absolute on that. All right, so looking at this Cleveland Boston game, it's a 10-point spread favoring Boston with a 227.5 over under. Personally, guys, I'm not really on anything from this game whatsoever. Personally, this is a full fade on all props for me across the board. Chicago and Miami currently right now is sitting at a 5.5 swing favor in Miami. So just looking at the spread right now, what that tells me is I'm basically expecting Bam to go. And with that being the case, I'm loving Vuce's prop for rebounds over even more. And that game is sitting at a under over 217. Minnesota versus Dallas. This is a fairly tight game with a 2.5 swing favoring Dallas. Okay. And like I said, I'm expecting Anthony Edwards to go, but we'll see. Brooklyn versus Denver. They're favoring Denver by 7.5. So definitely a little bit of blowout potential there. Oklahoma City versus Sacramento. They're favoring Sacramento by 3.5. So this one here will be a tight one. Like, I like Sabonis's prop, but the problem with him is, as always, he can be foul risk. But if you guys feel good about him and you want to get behind one of his props, I have no issues with that. Last time he went up against OKC, he absolutely smashed him. So he is in a good spot, but again, he is foul risk. So I will point that out. Utah versus Portland. This is going to be another tight one. They're favoring Portland by just 1.5. So we definitely could, when the props go up for these games, we could definitely look to target some good pieces. Me personally, I will be looking for Kessler's prop because, like I said, Lauri Markkanen is basically doubtful at this point. So I'm definitely interested to see Kessler's rebound prop in that when it comes out. And then the final game, of course, is the late night hammer: Golden State versus Clippers. Right now, they're favoring Clippers with a 6-point swing, but I can definitely see this one being with a 230 over under, just going to be a straight shootout. As far as all the games on the board with the right props, this is going to be one of my favorite games to target personally, as well as a couple of these other ones. But we're going to get over to the board now. Oh, look at that. Luka Doncic. His assist props has already been bumped from 9.5 to 10, guys. Wow. So we'll have to take a closer look at that one. I kind of expected it, guys, to be honest. What is wrong with my controller? Sorry, guys. I don't know. This controller has issues sometimes. Or it could be the browser, to be honest. Either one. I don't know why I've tried to log into Prize Picks on here and I can't, guys. So I'm sorry for that. All right, so as I said, I had this guy up on the first up on the board for over 19 and a half points this morning. Of course, they done bumped his points up to 21 and a half. I still think he looks solid, just not as juicy. I don't care if you want to take just the over on the points and assists or the PRA. I mean, overall, they across the board still look solid to me, but I'm personally going here with points and assists over 26 and a half, over 11 and a half rebounds on Voos. Jamal Murray over 21 and a half points. Now, these ones here, guys, are just depending on the news, and I can't. Oh, yeah, I did. Oh, okay, so Luka. Yeah, Luka got bumped up to 10. Uh, gotta go take a look at this now. If this one kind of plays out like I think if Anthony Edwards go, there's always that possibility that they could try to double team Luca. I mean, that's really probably the only way they could shut him down. And if that's the case, I could definitely still see him getting over, getting 11 assists anyway. So if you still feel good about him, even though he's been bumped, you can definitely play him. But I'm gonna take him down just so you can see. Like, this is if Paul George doesn't go, and these are all correlated in the way that they would work together. And hopefully it hasn't been bumped. As last time I checked, Zubac was sitting at 9. He's still sitting there, so good. So if Paul George is rolled out, this is the way I would play these guys to correlate them. Kawhi Leonard over 3.5 assists. James Harden over 17.5 points. Zubac over 9 rebounds. Again, that's if Paul George is out. So this is what I got at this time at final look as far as, what looks really good. And again, guys, um, as soon as news comes in, because I will have all the players, especially the ones that are listed questionable, I'll put those guys up on the top of the underneath the picks. So, and as their statuses come in, I will update that, and then I will like rotate out the picks that are up there and everything as need be, whether based off news or guys getting bumped and whatnot and things like that. So just come back like every so often and check it, guys. I mean, like I said, outside of Patreon, this is the best. And this, like I said, guys, I do treat this like my full-time job. I sit here, I go over this all night. Once I get news, I'm looking for cert props. Giving you guys a heads up where to look, the early juice, everything. I do everything for you guys to the best of my ability, and that's the best I can do. And I will always give you guys my best. And I appreciate you guys and your support. But yeah, right now for you know first look in on the final take vid, this looks good. There are a lot of other ones that look decent, but like I said, they've been taking things down, bumping them, putting them back up.